Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be part of the second set of the Proleague match between Lecaf and Wemade Fox. It's going to be Jaedong versus Intermind. Should be a really good match. This is a rematch, actually. The commentary of the week had Jaedong versus Mind just recently. Mind ended up taking that match, but I think it was really close. Mind tends not to play very well against zerg players. He tends to have bad medic marine micro. He doesn't tend to keep the ball, is I think his issue. Anyway, before I get distracted, I've got some shout-outs I want to do. I actually got a decent-sized list. So first of all, Ben Beater at Stanford, shout out to him. He's apparently in the same class as JWD. Of course, check out JWD's writing at se2gg.com. Otherwise, Snacky, hi, Goober, and Pandar, actually. Pandar is from G4B2S, and he's one of those guys, he's just kind of, I always thought he's kind of one of the, he's very hard to please, nonplussed a lot of the time. And he was like, yeah, I think your commentaries are okay. Which honestly, I think that means my commentaries are great, because he's a hard guy to say that. I've never heard him say, wow, this is fantastic, or things like that. And he tends to be one of those really mellow guys. So I think that's a huge compliment. Huge compliment. So special shout out to Pandar as well, and the G4B2S community at large, all those guys who are listening, Zergman, etc. Anyway, and really quick while I'm thinking about it, yeah, Snacky, he was sharing some pro game strategies earlier in SE2GG chat. If you guys want to go there, it's se2gg.com/chat if you don't have an IRC client. Otherwise, we're on GameSurge at SE2GG. But yeah, he was saying SCV rush all the way. Just SCV rush on Andromeda. It's a powerful build because they don't expect it. They're going to go fast expand. Maybe you can even expand inside their base with a proxy command center, a strategy like that. And then Goober was saying, no, that could totally the way to go is engineering bay rush, and that's where you basically build a bunch of engineering bays and you float them above your opponent's base. And again, because they're going fast expand, you can float them, you can just cover their base in engineering bays and they can't select any of their units. Then you can send in single marines to kill their entire base off. Anyway, I'm sure you guys can try those strategies at on ICAP, I should say. Speaking of which, they've got a new season going, and yeah, check out Yankee League again. Yankee League Season 2, I think just before this, I'm trying to upload a couple games from ASA versus Shock, and not the best games, but usually they're fantastic games in Yankee League. And unfortunately, BWUSA.com was recently hacked. Who knows by who or why? But anyway, getting to the game at hand. Mind versus Jaedong. Jaedong, he hasn't been playing the same ever since Flash beat him in GSI, really. He's been playing well, but he hasn't been playing to that S-class level that I still think he's the best Zerg out there. Looks like he's going to go for, going for 3 hatcheries. Putting down that spawning pool first, so he's not going to get caught with his pants down. He'll still be able to produce Zerglings here. Looks like Mind is also going to go for fast expansion. We've seen that a lot lately. Maybe Jaedong has the formula here to deal with this fast expansion from Marines here, from Terran here. Moving those 4 drones across, mayonerding them. It's just a hard word to say, commentary. And as you can see, he doesn't have a lot of larvae down there, so he's really producing a lot of troops, just pumping the drones here, not saving anything. Mind, in the meantime, has 2 Marines just posted out to kill that scout should it come. And this is actually going to be, I think, a little more favorable for Jaedong. He's going to be able to produce those Mulisks. Looks like he's going to go for, I assume, a 3-hatch Mulisk build here, and he's going to have the maneuverability advantage. He's going to be able to maneuver straight across the map, where on the ground, medic marines, they're just hard. And Jaedong catching that scout right as it was going in, 2 Zerglings just in the nick of time, and that right there, when it's not timing, it's luck. And I'm gonna have to say that might have been timing on Jaedong's part with the Overlord and things like that. Anyway, but yeah, getting those Zerglings out in the ground just in the nick of time to deny the scout. Now it looks like he's teching to lair. Mind, in the meantime, he's got an SCV sitting there with some minerals for some reason. Yeah, he's moving his SCVs alongside, starting to get his economy up as well, as he already got those 2 barracks down. And what we've seen a lot of from Terran lately is putting down that academy and going quick weapons 1, quick range, and just going really anti-mutalisk and just trouncing on your opponent from there. Just really, sometimes an off-timing push like that, I don't think the timing on that is really, with that fast expansion, is going to be as effective now that Zerg players are kind of expecting it. We saw Jaedong actually put down a quick Sutton colony a little bit earlier in case he would need it, and yeah, as you can see, it's already morphed. And he's putting down an evolution chamber here, so it looks like he's going to really play kind of the upgrades game. He wants to make sure he doesn't fall behind on upgrades. So he's going to play for a long-term game, going to use this Meatless Harass to buy himself some time, try to, and that could be very effective on this map. And this is the problem with Mind. As you can see, he's got those two groups. He's got a group of 3 and a group of 4, and they're kind of separated. And that tends to be very dangerous with Marines. When you're a Zerg player, you want to get those Zerglings in the gaps. You push the Zerglings in the gaps and have them attack. You want to separate them from the medic Marines and have them just basically not all shooting one direction. You want to break that Terran ball, basically. Engineering Bay now going down for Mind, and I think he should be well prepared for that Meatless Harass, but we'll see if he spots out that evolution chamber and can adjust accordingly here. But Jaedong, basically what he can do here is he can build a base basically anywhere on the map, aside from the middle, and Mind's going to have a hard time tracking down the bases, and really with those Mutalisks out in the air, he's can wow, looks like Mind expecting maybe some Zerglings. He hasn't gotten a spot in, keep in mind. He's got a Firebat there guarding the entryway. I'm going to assume that's a Spire morphing right there. And Mind also opening up his back door with the map artifact, maybe to make sure he can get some more maneuverability with those Medic Marines to deal with the Meatless Harass once again. I'm not sure. Anyway, but now getting the scans off, he's going to be able to see, and it looks like he's going to scan that evolution chamber. He might, I'm going to assume that he's not expecting 3 hatchery lings, but that could lead him to believe that 3 hatcheries, the 3 lings are basically coming down the line, but instead it looks like he's scouting the bottom left-hand corner, making sure that Jaedong isn't expanding. I think this would be... this is actually clever by Mind, setting out that scout like that, because he knows Jaedong's style. Jaedong tends to go the Meatless Harass and then try to expand simultaneously. And Mind is almost always prepared for his opponents, especially the big name opponents like this. As you can see, he's got that SCV out in the field, and he was looking for a drone to be in that position. He was looking for Jaedong to expand while that Meatless Harass was going out. That tends to be Jaedong's style. Unfortunately, not catching a Meatless scout in the field, but really predicting. We'll see if Jaedong still goes for another expansion, and if Mind can catch it. 3 barracks up, and see right there, he had to regroup those Medic Marines. He's got Firebats lingering out. This is the problem, and it looks like he did. He expanded the bottom left-hand corner with that single drone. Sunken Colony going up on the edge right there. Now the Meatless Harass pushing out, and this is where I feel like Jaedong is actually at his most vulnerable. I feel like, wow, actually, it looks like these Mutalisks are going to have to be pushed over to the side to deal with this Firebat going to the bottom left-hand corner. It's unfortunate that Zergling spotted out. I think he would have been able to be killed either way. This is going to buy some time for Mind. He's going to be able to produce another control group of Medic Marines, or a couple more Marines out of that barracks, and he might actually be able to push an attack up. And see, just spreading them out a little bit too much, yeah, it can be dangerous. Catching a Mutalist, though, out in the field, good maneuver, nice stim pack there, perfectly timed with just, yeah, the way they were coming across. That tends to be Mind's problem otherwise. He just doesn't know when to stim, runs out of energy, things like that. Anyway, let's see if he decides to if he can catch it. It's stimming right there, and it caught a little bit of damage on the Mutalist. I don't think it was worth a stim there, though. And 6 turrets along that lane. I think that count is right. I saw 3 turrets, and 2 are already down, and a 3rd going up. Yeah, see, 6 turrets along that left-hand side. So this is very solid against that Meatless Harass. I think Mind might have an opportunity here to... wow, another drone going to the up right-hand corner. Looks like a Firebat has tracked it down. So that's going to stop Jaedong a little bit more. Let's see if Jaedong's still going to tech to Hive. I think this is where Jaedong is his most vulnerable, where he's trying to tech to Hive, but he doesn't have the gas to do it. If Mind can keep up the pressure, if he can maybe take out that expansion in the bottom left-hand corner without any additional expansions going up, he's going to be in strong position. We've seen Jaedong lose basically things before. This is where he loses it. He loses it when he's teching right here. And a machine shop going down right there on the factory, interestingly enough. We'll see if that might trigger Jaedong. It's going to have to trigger Jaedong if he sees it. He's going to have to go Ultralisks, I'm sorry, Defilers as opposed to Ultralisks. I don't know if... maybe we'll see some tanks here from Mind. He tends to be more comfortable with the Medic Marines. That kind of... it's not going to befuddle me. We saw him against Jaedong before kind of throw in some units in the mix, and it looks like he's got level 1 armor, but level 1 weapons is already upgraded by Mind, so about even as far as upgrades go. It looks like that Firebat got creamed in the upper right-hand corner. Now Mind's starting to push out, and I don't think Jaedong can protect both bases at the bottom left and the top right, but I don't think he needs to. He can just he can sacrifice one of the bases just to keep the gas flow up, as long as he can get a decent-sized armory out in the field. Otherwise, so he can basically claim another base, he should be okay. SCV pushing out in the field, and some Zerglings coming down. I don't think that's not a large enough Zergling swarm to really do that much damage. It might keep Mind on, as he has to make sure he gets a second control group at his main to deal with that. Should Jaedong decide to go for a backside flank, as Mind is starting to push the bottom left-hand corner. It looks like Jaedong actually expanded to the 3 o'clock position as well, which is a very vulnerable part. So a very vulnerable spot, I should say. So he's getting a little bit greedy and just kind of relying. He's really playing against Mine's kind of. Mine tends to be passive. He tends to be a little bit shell-like. He doesn't usually commit his